right now at 5, a passenger vehicle T-bones a Jasper County deputy vehicle.
And we've got ourselves another mild start across the area. Hot day ahead of us and even some thunderstorms out there this morning. We'll take a look at that coming up.
And we learn more about what the C-Click Fix app is.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Just starting to, trying to get your day off to a groovier start on this finally Friday here in the 4 states.
I wouldn't be against doing that on a regular basis.
Sometimes we just like to celebrate. It's Friday. Folks are celebrating everywhere. And some of us in southeast Kansas doing a little celebrating. We're getting some showers and thunderstorms out there. So let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker right now. And you can see where those showers and storms are. Now, Here's where it gets interesting for me as just a weather forecaster is the computer model data from this morning when I was putting everything together did not show these storms. Therefore, does not show what they're going to do. So we're going to keep an eye on them. Now, the good news is they're not strong or severe, but they are bringing some hefty amounts of rain back from Iola up toward Burlington. So we'll keep an eye on them. You can look here and see how they've developed over the last couple of hours. Just these little showers. They're not moving much, as you can see, but they are there. So at least some of us this morning getting some rain. So let's take a look at what we're expecting for the rest of the day. We could see a stray shower or two as we go through the afternoon hours, as you can see, but these are going to be very isolated. The majority of us should remain dry, and we're going to be partly cloudy to mostly clear through the day, and we've got a pretty toasty day ahead of us. However, late tonight, around midnight or so, we're going to see more organized thunderstorm activity start to roll through the area as we go into the early morning hours of our Saturday. Now, some of these storms could be strong, possibly low-grade severe, which we'll show you. So some pop-up storms possible today, again, that very isolated. As we go into tomorrow, we've got this low-end risk highlighted here, and then for Sunday, along and south of I-44, low-end risk. We're not really anticipating much in the way of strong or severe storms, but there is that remote possibility. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking good this morning, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Our camera here at 7th and Range Line showing us pretty decent skies. We're mild, 68, dew point humidity, as we've been mentioning, they're up there. Not oppressively so, but enough to make it uncomfortable by the afternoon. Got 63 in Fort Scott is one of the cool spots, 64 in Nevada, 70 in Iola, 73 in Chanute is one of the warmer spots out there, and 66 Chatopa, Miami, and Neosho. As we get our morning started, we're looking at mostly clear skies, warming up again as we go closer to the mid-80s by late morning. As we head into the afternoon, it's going to be another hot day for us out there. We're talking temperatures back into the low 90s, some partly cloudy skies. Again, maybe a stray shower or storm, but it's going to be very isolated in nature. And as we head into this evening, our evening looking good. We're mostly clear. We're pretty toasty, though. It's still 88 by 8, near 80 by 10. Overnight lows tonight quite mild into the lower 70s, but we do have those thunderstorm chances as we go into the overnight hours. So as we look down the road, we got the morning thunderstorms for us on Saturday, 93, really toasty on Sunday, pushing upper 90s near 100 with some storms again possible along and south of I-44 in the evening. We're still pretty warm Monday, hot temperatures again as we head toward the middle of next week with some additional shower chances Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A passenger vehicle T-bones a Jasper County deputy vehicle on Joplin's Range Line. The incident occurred last night around 9:35 at Zora and Range Line. Preliminary information shows the deputy had emergency lights engaged, traveling west on Zora when a southbound passenger vehicle struck it. Authorities say it was a non-injury crash. A Boeing supplier in Wichita, Kansas shuts down its factory after workers vote to strike. The move to close the Spirit Aerosystems plant was made on Thursday after employees rejected the company's best and final offer in contract negotiations. The International Association of Machinist and Aerospace Workers, or IAM, represents about 6,000 workers at the plant. The union said most members concluded Spirit Aerosystems' offer was unacceptable. Their work stoppage is set to begin Saturday. In response, the company said IAM represented employees should not report to work Thursday, but will receive pay. Well, the Missouri Division of Fire Safety says the drought in the state is worsening. They say 3 months ago, 1.5% of Missouri was in moderate drought or worse, and now it's more than 70%. They say the percentage of Missouri in severe drought grew to 43%. I want to remind everyone to be very careful with any activities that could spark a fire, including fireworks. Well, See Click Fix is an app that allows citizens to engage with their city government and identify issues within their community. Both Joplin and Pittsburgh city officials say it's important to properly use this app and make sure you can identify the issues that you see around you.
Yes, on the See Click Fix map, you can actually see the different issues that have been reported in your neighborhood. You can actually sign up and be notified when issues are reported, whether it's in your neighborhood or in the city.
Usually it's viewed within 24 to 48 hours. It is not an emergency reporting system. If you do have an emergency, we always recommend you call 911.
You can get the See Click Fix app on both Android and iPhone, and it is free to use. Could Oklahoma's public schools be forced to hang the 10 Commandments in their classrooms? A group called the Oklahoma Advisory Committee on Founding Principles is sending that and 2 other recommendations to the state superintendent. Andy Weber has the details.
What we're going to continue to do is to make sure that faith isn't being persecuted in our schools.
State Superintendent Ryan Walters talking with reporters Thursday after a group of religious leaders sent 3 recommendations for the State Board of Education to consider. They include protecting moments of silence in public schools, which is already allowed, require the 10 Commandments be hung in all classrooms, and require a course on Western civilization. Walters telling reporters he supports protecting that daily moment of silence, but not taking a position on the other 2 quite yet.
We're looking at the other recommendations, and we'll be coming back soon with other actions around the other recommendations from the committee and how we can continue to support our kids.
We have much bigger things to kind of dig into when it comes to education here in Oklahoma.
State Rep Jacob Rosecrans, a Democrat from Norman, used to be a teacher and argues the department is focused on the wrong issues. He says requiring the 10 Commandments be hung is not going to help teach kids.
Well, first of all, I believe that's unconstitutional. Second of all, if you do that, I think that you would have to open it up for the tenets of any religion.
Walters not saying if any of these recommendations will be made a reality or if it would require the legislature to get involved.
That's something we're looking at all options. How can we ensure that religious liberty is protected in our school? How can we make sure that as a state we're moving the ball for our students and making sure that everybody has a great education possible?
If the Oklahoma State Board does decide to take action or make changes, they'd have to wait at least a month for the next meeting. It's scheduled for the end of July. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, MSSU's women's basketball is getting some new faces on the team. Plus, a couple from Arizona goes where no man has gone before. Just kidding. They're just sending their DNA into space. And good news, death rates in U.S. hospitals among women who have given birth is down. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Missouri Southern women's basketball was 1 point away from a trip to the NCAA quarterfinals this March, but the Lions have lost a lot of contributors from that team in the offseason. That means a lot of fresh faces coming this season. MSSU announced 5 new recruits coming on the team on top of the 2 already added earlier in the offseason. Head coach Ronnie Ressel says while last year's group certainly was fun to watch, he believes this year's will be as well, and those new recruits are already putting in work in the gym.
It'll be different, but it sometimes change is good in the aspect that we're going to have some different kids that have to do different things. Bringing kids in that hopefully they'll continue to develop in their game what they did in junior college or they're transferring from their D2 or D1, continue to develop and grow as an individual, and then hopefully we continue to play at a high level, which I think we will, because I think the kids love to win. They love to get in the gym and work, so we're excited about it. Of course, we can't do anything with them, so they're working out on their own, getting in the weight room on their own, and that tells me a lot about these kids, some of our new kids that are here, that they're getting in the gym and doing stuff. That means they want to work, they want to get better, and they want to be successful.
Meanwhile, high school baseball standouts from across Kansas and Missouri have teamed up to play for the Midwest Mustangs, a travel team with kids 18 years and younger. Right now, they're competing for a spot in the Connie Mack World Series held in New Mexico next month. To get there, they need to win the qualifier over 27 other teams from several different states. The Midwest Mustangs are at Joe Becker Stadium in Joplin taking on the Texas Desperados. We're going to pick things up in the bottom of the first with Webb City's Sean Hunt lining this ball to right field. Outfielders have trouble with it, and Hunt is going to clear all the bases with a 3-run single. Mustangs go up 3-0. We go to the bottom of the second now. Mustangs up 3-1. Logan Myers will fly out to center field. It'll be a sac fly, and the Mustangs expand their lead and go up 4-1. Then things got turned upside down from there. Top of the third, it's tied up 4-4. Desperados take the lead with an RBI single to right. It's now a 5-4 ball game. So now we're going to go to the bottom of the seventh. Last chance for the Mustangs, and Colt Ungerauer flies out to left field. Mustangs were unable to rally back in this one and lose this game 8-5.
Well, I thought we did some really good things. Got a lot of base runners, got some balls put in play hard with 2 outs, and a lot of runners on, just didn't find holes and try to compete. You're doing it with wood bats, which most guys don't do very much of it. So it's a chance to figure out, a little more efficient swing path and things like that against some good arms. And so it's just a great opportunity to compete at a high level.
Now, the Mustangs were at Joe Becker last night because the Outlaws are on the road. After dropping the first 2 games of its road trip, Joplin has won the last 3, entering last night's game in Carroll, Iowa on a bit of a hot streak. Pitchers duel last night. Chris Massey from Central Missouri was great on the mound, escaped a bases-loaded jam in the 6th. Very next inning, the Merchants got loaded the bases again. Didn't score again. Joplin scores 3 in the top of the 9th. Well, still to come, a Bosnian war criminal is discovered to have been living in Tennessee for 25 years. And we got another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:17 on this finally Friday. So we've got these thunderstorms. Parts of southeast Kansas, or at least some showers. We're not picking up any lightning, but again, this picks up cloud-to-ground lightning. And we're not picking up any of that with this activity. Now, here's the fun part again for me as a forecaster, is the computer models that we look at in order to build our forecast for the day didn't show these storms. And the latest update shows them dying in the next hour or so, but I'm not 100% certain that that's exactly what's going to happen, because another one, because there are several we look at, suggests that these may die out but could trigger another batch of storms later today. So we're going to have to watch this and just see exactly what it does as we go through the morning. At least for now, the expectation is to be partly cloudy, hot, and we might get a stray shower or pop-up storm as we head into the afternoon hours, but that's looking to be a relatively isolated chance. Our better chances for storms, at least right now, are going to be as we head into the overnight hours tonight. Here we are at midnight, Elk, Chautauqua County. We start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and those will begin to roll through the area. With that, we could see a stray strong or severe thunderstorm as we head into our Saturday and into our Sunday, but this risk is relatively low. We're not really anticipating much. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking good so far, and same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, just south of Pittsburgh. Our camera, 7th and Range Line, you can see some of the clouds off in the distance there. Otherwise, clear skies over Joplin, 68. Dew point humidity, both up there a bit, still enough to just make it uncomfortable as we go through the day, as if the low 90s wasn't uncomfortable enough. 63 in Fort Scott, 64 in Pittsburgh, 72 Neodesha, warm spot 73 in Chanute, 66 Chatopa, Miami, Neosho, and 68 in Carthage right now. We're looking at being mostly clear as we start our day, warming up quickly, mid-80s by late morning. Highs as we head into this afternoon are going to be upper 80s, low 90s across the area, and we'll transition between partly to mostly cloudy skies. And as we head into the evening, we'll start to see skies clear out ahead of the overnight storms. We'll stay pretty mild and go back into the low 70s tonight with the thunderstorm activity after midnight and roughly before 7 a.m. Then we'll be hot again tomorrow, hotter on Sunday for us as we go near 100. Evening storms possible along and south of I-44. Hotter as we head into next week. Temperatures continue to climb into the 90s and upper 90s with some scattered storm chances possible Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Well, a couple in Arizona is set to travel into deep space without ever leaving Earth. How are they doing that? Well, they're doing it by sending their DNA into space. Marissa Sarbach has more on the mission that is making this all possible.
We've got DNA, we've got cremated remains, we even have what are called Celestis mind files, things that people write down, ideas, music, things like that people just want to send out into space.
Celestis is sending 2 missions out on one rocket later this year, one that orbits the moon and another that orbits eternally around the sun. For about $13,000, anyone could have reserved a spot for their DNA on board.
We give the ability to access space to the normal person.
Elizabeth and Jerry Paulus, 2 veterans from Mesa, happen to be among them.
As a boy, you're growing up during the space age and you're thinking about being an astronaut, but there's only a few that actually rise to that level.
The process to include your DNA is unique, as is the entire experience.
You provide your DNA sample, and then they have to create the DNA that is a substrate. It's a powdered substrate that's capable of intergalactic travel.
They're in good company. Also on board will be DNA from President Eisenhower, President Kennedy, and President Washington.
It'll be the largest repository of our civilization, the furthest out in space that's ever happened.
The closest Elizabeth and Jerry will ever get to space. Closer than most people will ever get in a lifetime.
All of us as humans, we want to be part of something bigger than ourselves. And this really is part of that journey that we're looking at into deep space and the unknown. We're kind of pioneers.
Well, that brings us to our question for you this morning. Would you send your DNA into space? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Make sure you take time to vote at KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. You can also do so in our app and take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, maternal deaths in U.S. hospitals are declining. That's according to a new study from the government's Office on Women's Health. Researchers studied more than 11 million hospital patients from 2008 to 2021. They found that delivery-related deaths in those patients dropped by 57% during that 14-year span. However, that decline was only found in hospital deliveries. The nation's overall maternal mortality rate, which includes deliveries not done in the hospital, has increased. E-cigarette use is flaring up across the United States. That's according to a new study by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. From January of 2020 to December of 2022, monthly e-cigarette unit sales surged by more than 46%. During that time period, purchases of tobacco and mint-flavored e-cigarettes fell, but sales of the fruit and candy-flavored e-cigarettes that appeal to the younger crowd shot up. According to the 2022 National Youth Tobacco Survey, more than 2.5 million middle and high school students reported using e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes contain high concentrations of nicotine, a highly addictive chemical that can harm adolescents' brain. Well, millions of Americans suffer chronic pain. It can have a huge impact on quality of life, careers, even mental health. Mandy Gaither has more with a chiropractor on 3 simple ways to ease aches and pain.
From exercising to sitting at a desk for long periods or just carrying around tension and stress, our bodies bear the brunt of everything we do.
I've just noticed that there's a way increased amount of just normal aches and pains.
Cleveland Clinic chiropractor Andrew Bang says there are 3 simple ways to ease common aches and pains. First, try heat.
You can use a heating pad. You can use those rice socks to heat up in the microwave.
Second, gently stretch muscles that get tight. He says to start with a long stretch, holding it for 1 minute, then ease yourself into 2-minute stretches on each tight muscle group.
Lots of us fall into that stretching for 5 to 10 seconds, thinking that's sufficient. It feels good, but it's not enough time on the muscle to get it to relax completely.
Bang says people who are sedentary may have muscles that are too loose.
As you're sitting, you're actually stretching some muscles like your glutes, your buttocks. And oftentimes you're stretching your low back muscles too much and even your neck as you stoop forward to look down at your keyboard, papers, and your computer screen.
To tighten muscles, Bang says his third tip is to do isometric exercises.
That's essentially squeezing a muscle tight together, and that will shunt blood through the area. It will cause metabolites that build up inside. Those chemicals that cause pain inside the muscle groups. Kind of force them out as you squeeze.
Well, Bang says the more people sit, the more they complain of soreness. To prevent pain, he says, keep moving. For example, at work, take breaks from sitting. Consider standing or walking around. He says if you never allow yourself to be stuck in one position for too long, it'll help you avoid getting sore. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a few scattered thunderstorms out across parts of southeast Kansas. We'll keep an eye on what these guys do. We're otherwise looking to be pretty hot and dry today. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, Mercy Park gets new sculptures, all thanks to a collaboration between Joplin's Rotary Clubs.
And we've got some stray showers and thunderstorms out in southeast Kansas this morning. We're otherwise looking to be partly cloudy and hot through the day. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And the Joplin Rotary Club gives back to the community.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's another mild start for us out there this morning, and we've got some showers and thunderstorms bringing some much needed rains to at least parts of southeast Kansas, specifically Woodson, Wilson, Allen, and Neosho counties getting in on this activity. So we'll take a look at that on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So here's the fun part I've been discussing this morning is the computer model data we look at every day to help us build our forecast and look at what's expected did not show this activity, and so therefore it has no plan for it. So we're just going to keep an eye on it and see what it's going to do over the next couple of hours. No strong or severe storms with this activity. In fact, right now Skywatch Storm Tracker not picking up any lightning with this activity either, just some much needed rainfall out there. And you can see over the last couple of hours how it just kind of flared up. It's trying to move to the east-southeast, but it's really not moving that much. It's kind of redeveloping on top of itself. So it's something that we'll keep an eye on. Now, as we go through the rest of our day today, we're expecting to otherwise be partly cloudy through the day and pretty darn toasty across the area. Could see a stray pop-up shower or two. And then overnight tonight is our better chances of some more organized showers and thunderstorms. So we do have a low wind risk as we head into our Saturday and again on Sunday along and south of I-44, because we could see additional thunderstorms Sunday evening along and south of I-44. And as again, this is a pretty low wind risk. We're not anticipating anything significant, but we could see a couple of strong storms out there. All right, MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline. We're looking good so far this morning. We're looking all right from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Our camera, 7th and Rangeline. There's the clouds out to the northwest from those thunderstorms. We're otherwise clear over Joplin, 68. Dew point humidity again up there, and that's how it's been the last few days. That's how it's going to be. Got 64 in Pittsburgh, 62 Fort Scott, 73 Chanute, 65 Miami, and 66 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, we're expecting to be mostly clear, warm, mid-80s by late morning, and today it's going to be pretty darn hot. We'll go partly cloudy, maybe some mostly cloudy skies out there. Highs today reaching upper 80s and lower 90s. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
Thanks, Chris. A Pittsburgh brewery gives families a chance to have some summer fun. Jolly Fox Brewery hosted a family splash night. The brewery had more than 1,000 water balloons on hand for people to throw around at each other. Organizers say it's a good way to involve the community while also taking a break from the stresses of work.
It's great, honestly. We work really hard 6 days out of the 7 days of the week, and to just have fun on a shift, it's everything. I think it's very important to have fun with your staff and for everyone to have a good time.
Jolly Fox is located at 301 South Broadway in Pittsburgh. There are some new sculptures in Joplin's Mercy Park. 8 new sculptures were added to the Rotary Sculpture Garden. It's part of a collaboration between Joplin's 2 Rotary clubs. The sculptures were all donated to the park. 2 of the sculptures feature traditional Native American dances.
It's called the Wedding Dance. It's a brave and his soon-to-be partner, and the other one is a brave doing a special dance. We think those are really important for this is a part of the country where where the Indians were.
There are now a total of 27 statues in the Rotary Garden at Mercy Park. The Joplin Rotary Club is giving back to the community. On Thursday, they gave nearly $20,000 to 8 local nonprofits. The proceeds came from the annual charity golf scramble. This is the 23rd year that the charity has hosted the scramble. Proceeds went to organizations such as the Ronald McDonald House, Habitat for Humanity, and the Salvation Army.
There are so many worthy causes in our community. At being on the committee, it's a task to look through those causes and try to decide how to distribute that money. But obviously there's a limit to all of our money, so we just do our best. We like to look at causes that have not received funds from us in the past.
The Joplin Rotary Club has been serving Joplin and the area since 1916. Joplin Empire Market organizers are giving the community chances to grow their green thumbs or learn new skills. On Thursday, folks got the chance to hone their canning skills. The beginners class helped participants stockpile knowledge to get started canning at home, including teaching the importance of timing.
Underestimating the time it takes to can, so they're kind of rushing through it or maybe skipping some steps to get to the end result. And then the last one is using information that is not evidence-based for their canning processes.
Classes run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Thursday. Well, on Thursday, veterans in Miami had the chance to fly back in time in a biplane. The event was organized by Dream Flights, a donation, volunteer-driven organization with the mission of giving back to those who served. This was the 4th time Dream Flights came to Miami. Each flight lasted about 15 minutes and brought joy to the veterans.
When you reach a certain age, you start losing your friends and health, and it seems like everything, you're losing everything, you're not gaining anything. And I fundamentally believe that people should hang on to their dreams. They're not thinking about biplane flights, but when you give them that flight, it kind of opens up their world and says, I can still do things, I'm relevant.
The airplane that the veterans flew in was a Boeing Stearman, built in 1942 and used as a World War II primary trainer. Dream Flights has flown in 49 states. Next month, it will be doing the 6,000th flight. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Well, this morning we're discussing sending your DNA into space.
Yeah, Celestis is sending 2 missions out on one rocket later this year, one that orbits the moon and another that orbits eternally around the sun. For about $13,000, anyone could have reserved a spot for their DNA on board. And Elizabeth and Jerry Paulus, 2 veterans from Mesa, happen to be among them.
And they're in good company. Also on board will be DNA from President Eisenhower, President Kennedy, and President Washington. The closest Elizabeth and Jerry will ever get to space, closer than most people will ever get in a lifetime.
And that brings us to our question for you this morning. Would you send your DNA into space? So far, 84% of you say, nah, I don't think so. But 16% of you say, it might not be a bad idea. So it's certainly an interesting concept. Make sure you take time to vote on this interesting concept through our website, through our app, and take part on the discussion in our Facebook page.
Do you think they're doing it as a way to, just like a time capsule in space, or more
maybe so.
of like if they ever want to clone these individuals?
That's a good question. I know some of the other things they're sending up are music and books and things like that. So I think it's more of a time capsule than anything, just an interesting time capsule.
Yes, for sure. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, we take you to Wisconsin to meet the defending champion of the kids division in a mullet competition.
Plus, we'll find out what cities are the most livable cities in the world. We'll have the latest on that.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, a suspected Bosnian war criminal was apparently hiding out in Tennessee for nearly 25 years. And last week, authorities in East Ridge arrested a man using the name Said Dukic. Federal agents were able to identify Dukic through a search warrant, fingerprints, and facial recognitions. Turns out he was on Interpol's red notice list and wanted by authorities in Bosnia and Herzegovina for allegedly committing war crimes during the Bosnian War. That war lasted from 92 through 95. Homeland Security says he tried 2 times to file for entry into the U.S. in the 1990s under a different name. But when he changed his name to Dukic, he was able to get through. Interesting. Well, Moscow court extends the detention of American journalist Ivan Gershkovich. A judge rejected an appeal by the Wall Street Journal reporter and upheld an earlier ruling that he should remain in jail until late August. The 31-year-old U.S. citizen was arrested in March on alleged espionage charges while reporting in Russia. Gershkovich is the first U.S. journalist since the Cold War to be detained in Russia on spying charges. Well, Thursday marked World Rainforest Day, time to reflect on the importance of those vital ecosystems and the activities threatening their survival. Besides providing food and other resources, rainforests act as large carbon dioxide catchers, with the trees absorbing harmful CO2 and emitting clean oxygen. But with rainforest under attack from deforestation, some environmentalists say it's time to use technology to fight back. Ted Linder takes a look at how a seed planting robot and tracking pants for frogs, that's right, could make a difference.
You're probably familiar with the Amazon rainforest, the largest rainforest on Earth. But did you know rainforests exist on every continent except Antarctica? According to National Geographic, these ecosystems cover roughly 6% of the planet. But since the late 1940s, tropical rainforests have shrunk by more than half, mainly the result of deforestation from illegal logging and mining operations. Now, new high-tech innovations could help save these vital forests. Deep in the Amazon, members of the non-profit group Jungle Keepers are using a solar-powered seed planting robot.
It's able to plant all of our seeds for our nursery, freeing up our rangers to do other tasks. We can plant up to 600 trees in a morning.
Once the seeds sprout, crews plant the saplings across areas where trees were cut down. Meanwhile, to better understand the navigation abilities of rainforest frogs, a team from Stanford University is attaching tiny radio pants to 3 species. The devices allow for better tracking in the dense forests.
Pants for frogs. Who would have thought? Scientists are hopeful that using more technology in the rainforest can combat deforestation and assist with tracking biodiversity. Well, as Billy Joel might say, Vienna waits for you. 173 of the world's most livable cities have been ranked in a 2023 recent report by the Economist Intelligence Unit. Topping the list, Vienna, Austria. It was closely followed by Denmark's Copenhagen. Australia, Canada, and Switzerland all have multiple top 10 cities, but no cities in the U.S. made the top 10. The highest ranking U.S. city, Honolulu, came in at 25. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:47 now on this Friday morning, and we do have these showers across parts of southeast Kansas. Now, on the latest loops, they're starting to weaken and starting to die out just a little bit. Let me drag this down a little, and here we are. Still getting some much needed rain out there, which is great, but these showers are beginning to kind of die out. If you watch the loop here, you can see where they had some good rain, but they're starting to fizzle apart. They're trying to move off to the south and to the east, but they're just not really moving that much. So we'll have to just wait and see what these storms do for us for the rest of the day, but they should begin to die out in the next couple of hours. And that's going to leave us partly cloudy and hot as we go through the rest of our Friday. We could see a stray pop-up shower out there, but honestly, the majority of us are going to remain dry. As we go into the overnight hours tonight, that's going to be a better chance for some thunderstorms across the region after midnight. We do have a low-end risk for some stronger storms for us on Saturday and then along and south of I-44 on Sunday. This is a pretty low-end risk, but we could see a couple of stronger storms out there if we are able to get some thunderstorm activity into the area later through Saturday and into Sunday. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line looks good so far. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue south of Pittsburgh. Our camera, 7th and Range Line. sunshine. There are some clouds out there, but we got a nice looking start to the day. Otherwise, we're mild, 68 dew point humidity up there. And as it's been the last few days, they'll be up there, not overly oppressive, but again, just enough to make it feel uncomfortable. We got 63 Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton are some of the cooler spots on the map. 68 Iola, Chanute, the warm spot at 73, 66 Chatopa, Miami, and sitting at 67 in Neosho. And as we get our morning started, we're looking to be partly cloudy to mostly clear through the morning. Warm again today as we go near the mid 80s by 11. And as we head into the afternoon, highs upper 80s, a lot more lower 90s out there under partly to mostly cloudy skies. They'll be variable throughout the day. We head into our evening. We're looking at mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Still hot though, even later into the evening, a pretty toasty night. We'll go partly to mostly cloudy overnight, and then again, some of us after midnight could see a few stray showers and thunderstorms, and we're mild again tonight as well as we go back into the low 70s. All right, looking ahead tomorrow, another hot one, low 90s out there. Then Sunday, again, along and south of I-44, the best chances for some evening thunderstorms on Sunday. Ahead of that, though, pretty darn toasty as we go upper 90s, close to 100. We're a little cooler on Monday, and then we'll start to heat up again as we head into next week. We got some thunderstorm chances Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, pushing near 100 again Thursday and Friday. And then we're a little cooler by next weekend, and we have some additional evening pop-up thunderstorm chances as we head toward the close of next week as well. So we do have some rain chances out there. They're just not the world's greatest rain chances. And of course, we need a lot more meaningful rainfall as we are way behind already for the year, around almost 7 inches behind for the year. We're behind for the month. So any rain we can get is definitely beneficial. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
A Wisconsin boy is bringing back the 80s, not with leg warmers, shoulder pads, or neon colors, but with his hair. How, you ask? LA Joe Parmalu has the story.
He's back, he's better, and his mullet is longer than ever. 9-year-old Emmett Bailey took the spotlight last year when he decided to run for the USA Mullets Championships Kid Division and took home the title of USA Mullet Championship Kid Division's winner for 2022, along with prize money.
I won $2,500, and I won a Mullet Champs shirt, what I'm wearing right now.
Before Emmett won, he had a dream.
To go racing.
By owning his own go-kart, that dream has come true.
He was excited. He didn't quite understand right away that was his go-kart. He's officially getting a go-kart. I mean, it was emotional as a father to see your child's dream come true.
Now that Mullet Boy is off to the races, he has a new dream. He plans to defend his title as the USA Mullet Championships Kid Division winner by running again. But this time his dream is to give back to the community that helped him win.
With my winnings, I'm going to donate it to the Fast Factory to try to get another kid into racing.
Fast Factory Foundation is a nonprofit based in Wisconsin that uses donations to help other kids get go-karts. Meanwhile, Emmett's dad says submissions for the USA Mullet Championships Kid Division 2023 are due July 1st. Then voting for the kids' candidates will begin in August. Although his dad says it will be difficult to drum up the same amount of support a second time, the fact is Emmett is one of a kind.
He's a genuine kid. He's fun. We let him just do what he wanted to do last year. You tell the media and everybody, this is what I'm doing. He stuck to his story. He never changed it. And he's just a lovable kid.
As for Emmett's mullet, he does not plan to make any changes as he enters this year's competition. When asked why he did not want to change it up, Mullet Boy says,
"Because I won last year with it."
As Emmett prepares to defend his title, his family says they're grateful for the community support he continues to receive.
Thank you. Genuine thank you. I couldn't tell you enough how awesome it's been for our family.
Definitely awesome for Emmett. Voting for Emmett will be available in August. We'll have to update you on where you can find that. We'll be right back.
Today.
Well, the Buffalo Zoo is roaring with excitement at the arrival of 4 lion cubs. According to a post made by the zoo on Thursday, the cubs were born in early June and appeared to be 2 males and 2 females. After their first vet visit, the little lions are healthy and growing. The mother will be away from the exhibit with her newborns and continue to care for them in private until they're strong enough to be with other lions. The cubs have yet to be named, but they sure are cute. Well, toy maker Hasbro is bringing back the Furby again. Oh, I love these guys. Hasbro reintroduced the bug-eyed, gibberish-talking furball with a launch on Amazon on Thursday to mark the toy's milestone anniversary. It hits stores nationwide July 15th. Could be good news or very bad news, depending on who you ask. The 1990s animatronic toy phenomenon was cute to some kids, but a source of great frustration to a lot of parents. Didn't have an off button and would randomly wake up from a silent slumber at all times of the day and night and just start talking. The new Furby is still noisy, speaks gibberish, and dances, and it costs, the prices went up a little bit, $70.
Yeah, I definitely remember having a Furby or two at my house when I was growing up. And yeah, they were neat at first until they got irritated or scared or whatever might happen. And then they'd start talking to each other and randomly. And they were just kind of crazy little things, weren't they? Our forecast, not too crazy, but another hot one for us. We're going to go mostly clear, partly cloudy through the morning, mid-80s by 11. Our highs today, upper 80s, a few more lower 90s out there. Under partly to mostly cloudy skies, a stray pop-up shower or two possible, but I think most of us are going to stay dry. As we head into the evening, it's a clear and hot evening, and then overnight, partly to mostly cloudy, maybe some thunderstorms after midnight, low 70s. More storms possible Sunday, even hotter. Hot next week, more storms possible Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. We'll be back with more right after this.
Prearrange your
Right now at 6, workers at a Boeing supplier in Wichita shut down the factory when they vote to go on strike.
And we've got a couple of stray showers out there in southeast Kansas. Those will break up and will be hot and dry for us today. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And the 4 states has felt the burn of one hot summer already, but a business in Pittsburgh treats some area families to a fun way to cool down with Family Splash Night.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. Just after 6 o'clock now on this finally Friday in the 4 states. That means tomorrow's the weekend. We finally made it. We've done the 5 days. We've done what we need to do. And now it's time to get ready to relax. And it's going to be really hot if you're going to do any outdoor relaxing. So make sure you're taking precautions out there. We do still have those stray showers out in southeast Kansas. Now, we can take a closer look here at where they are, but as you can see, if you recall what the radar looked like earlier this morning, they were a little more organized, a little heavier rain, but unfortunately, as you see on the loop, they are beginning to break up now, so they should continue to do that, and that's just going to leave us hot and dry for the rest of our day. Now, we could see a stray pop-up shower or two later today, but again, most of us dry. We do have the low-end risk of a couple of stronger storms as we go into Saturday, and then again into Sunday along and south of I-44, as we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms after midnight tonight, and we could see some additional showers and storms Sunday evening as well. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. We are looking good so far this morning. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue. Hey, the sign's lit up. It says tip of the day, avoid distractions. That's a great tip. Make sure you do avoid distractions while you're driving. All right, taking a look at our camera, 7th and Range Line. Got some clouds out there, so kind of holding some of that sunlight back. We've got 68 in Joplin, dew point humidity up there, and they'll be that way through the day, making it for another uncomfortable one. We got 65 Nevada, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, 74 in Chanute, 72 Parsons, 65 Miami, and 66 in Neosho. As we get our morning started, we'll be mostly clear to partly cloudy, hot, or warm at least, into the mid-80s by late morning. Hot today as we go upper 80s, a few more lower 90s out there. Partly to mostly cloudy skies for us across the area. Our evening looks to be pretty darn warm. We'll be mostly clear, partly cloudy. And then after midnight, some of us could see a few scattered thunderstorms, and we'll be mild tonight. Lows back into the lower 70s. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A Boeing supplier in Wichita, Kansas shuts down its factory after workers vote to strike. The move to close the Spirit Aerosystems plant was made on Thursday after employees rejected the company's best and final offer in contract negotiations. International Association of Machinist and Aerospace Workers, or IAM, represents about 6,000 workers at the plant. The union said most members concluded that Spirit Aerosystems' offer was, quote, unacceptable. Their work stoppage is set to begin Saturday. In response, the company said IAM represented employees should not report to work Thursday, but will receive pay. Fireworks can be dangerous, but even more so this year due to drought conditions. The Missouri Division of Fire Safety says the drought in the state is worsening. They say 3 months ago, 1.5% of Missouri was in moderate drought or worse, and now it's more than 70%. State officials say the percent of Missouri in severe drought grew to 43%, and they want to remind everyone to be very careful with any activities that could spark a fire, including fireworks. Well, an app could put you within 1 click of contacting your city government officials. See Click Fix is an app that allows citizens to engage with their city government and identify issues within their community. Both Joplin and Pittsburgh city officials say it's important to properly use this app. Make sure you can identify the issues that you see around you.
Yes, on the See Click Fix map, you can actually see the different issues that have been reported in your neighborhood. You can actually sign up and be notified when issues are reported, whether it's in your neighborhood or in the city.
Usually it's viewed within 24 to 48 hours. It is not an emergency reporting system. If you do have an emergency, we always recommend you call 911.
You can get the See Click Fix app on both Android and iPhone. It is free to use. Search for a missing submersible meets a tragic outcome. U.S. Coast Guard officials yesterday say debris was found from the vessel. That finding is consistent with a catastrophic implosion. The submersible had lost contact Sunday while attempting to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. The 5 people on board are believed to have died. Jared Hill has the latest this morning.
A grim discovery ended the frantic multi-day search for the missing submersible Titan yesterday. A remote-operated vehicle found debris on the ocean floor of the North Atlantic, just 1,600 feet from the wreckage of the Titanic.
The debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
A naval official told CBS News the Navy detected a noise consistent with an implosion shortly after the Titan first lost contact on Sunday. All 5 people on board are presumed dead, and it's not clear if their bodies will be recovered.
I had been holding out hope as much as possible.
Friends of French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet say he was a consummate professional and generous.
I think he would like to be remembered as somebody who continued the story of Titanic.
OceanGate, the company that operates the Titan, released a statement saying, "Our hearts are with these 5 souls and every member of their families during this tragic time." For years, industry experts have criticized the company, which charges $250,000 for its expeditions to the Titanic site, over safety concerns.
They cut corners. They used unproven experimental technology on a sub that took passengers. And to me, that's inexcusable.
An investigation is underway to understand what happened and the cause of the implosion. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Officials now say the banging sounds a Canadian aircraft had detected Tuesday and Wednesday were actually from other ships in the area. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Pittsburgh Brewery gave families a chance to cool down and enjoy some summer fun. Jolly Fox Brewery hosted a family splash night. The brewery had more than 1,000 water balloons on hand for people to throw around at each other. Organizers say it's a good way to involve the community while also taking a break from the stresses of work.
It's great, honestly. We work really hard 6 days out of the 7 days of the week, and to just have fun on a shift, it's everything. I think it's very important to have fun with your staff and for everyone to have a good time.
Jolly Fox is located at 301 South Broadway in Pittsburgh. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, we meet a doctor who has set his sights on the goal of restoring the sight of 500,000 patients suffering from cataracts. Plus, we take a rare look at a long-abandoned DuPont factory that has a hidden secret garden for decades. And Chris returns with another look at your forecast and what the weather has in store for the 4 states this weekend. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, movie armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed faces additional charges connected to the fatal shooting on the Rust film set. On Thursday, she was charged with tampering with evidence in addition to 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter that were filed earlier this year. Prosecutors say Gutierrez-Reed transferred narcotics to another person on set to avoid additional arrest. Her attorneys deny the new allegations, which come 20 months after the fatal incident on set. Gutierrez-Reed, who was in charge of guns on the movie set, is charged in connection with the fatal shooting of the movie's cinematographer, Helena Hutchins. An intense fire erupted at an apparent storage yard Thursday afternoon in Los Angeles, sending a thick plume of smoke billowing into the sky. It was unclear what exactly was burning, but some nearby buildings were evacuated as a precaution. Most of the fire was extinguished by 4:00 p.m., but firefighters were still dousing hot spots. Now, authorities do not know what sparked the blaze, but it appears no one was seriously injured. And a damaged section of a Philadelphia highway will reopen sooner than expected for commuters. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro announced 6 lanes of the northbound Interstate 95 will reopen to motorists days ahead of schedule. That's partly due to an assist from the Pocono Raceway, which provided a truck-mounted jet dryer to speed dry the asphalt. The section was so damaged in a tanker truck accident that it partially collapsed last Thursday. Crews have been working around the clock in a rainy and hot weather on its reconstruction. The rebuilt section of I-95 should reopen today at noon. Recipients of this year's Kennedy Center Honors, which recognizes lifetime artistic achievement, have been announced. The Arts Center announced the class includes comedian Billy Crystal, singer Dionne Warwick, Bee Gees singer-songwriter Barry Gibb, hip-hop pioneer and actress Queen Latifah, and opera star Renee Fleming. The 46th class of honorees will be recognized in a December 3rd ceremony at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. The event also celebrates the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Well, a long abandoned part of American history has been uncovered and is now brought back to life. Jim Axelrod takes us to a historic garden that the general public has never seen before to show us the beauty growing under decades of neglect.
So, original storage tunnel.
If you like a reclamation project, you'll love what Paul Orpello is overseeing at the Hagley Museum in Delaware.
There's no other post-industrial site reimagined in this way.
There's only one in Delaware, only one on the eastern seaboard.
There's only one in the world.
The site of the original DuPont factory, where a great American fortune was made in gunpowder in the 19th century, and where a DuPont heiress named Louise Crowninshield turned all that destruction into a garden.
So in the prime of her life, what did this place look like?
It looked like you were walking through an Italian villa with English-style plantings adorning it.
But then she died in 1958.
Everything that she worked to preserve, this somehow got lost to time.
Which is where Orpello comes in. Hired in 2018 to reclaim Louise's garden, the pandemic hit before he could get going, which is when he found out he didn't exactly need to.
So you're walking around out here, you're seeing flowers that haven't bloomed in half a century. What is washing over you?
So much emotion, at certain points just falling down on my knees, trying to understand.
As the world shut down in the spring of 2020, flowers dormant for decades here started to bloom. Azaleas, tulips, peonies.
What sense did you make of it?
I don't know that I could, or that I still can't. Just that it's magic.
Now, Paul wants to fully restore the garden to how Louise had it, with pools she set in factory building footprints, and a mosaic terrace recently discovered under the dirt.
There was about a foot of compost from everything growing and dying, and then that was gently broomed off. A couple of rains later, Pegasus showed up.
Paul Orpello figures it will cost about $30 million to finish the job. But he's not focused on the money. He's focused on the message.
It's such a great story of resiliency, and this whole entire hillside erupted back into life when the world had shut down.
A message of magic he needed then, and we all still need now. For Eye on America, Jim Axelrod, Wilmington, Delaware.
That's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a sunny start for most of us this morning. A few clouds out there. Got a hot day lined up for us, and even have a few showers out there in southeast Kansas still. We'll take another look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Today's news brought to you by Kubota of Joplin.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:18 now on this Friday morning. So here's a look at those showers that we've got across parts of southeast Kansas. They've been breaking up a little bit in terms of at least losing some of the heavier rain with them. They're trying to push now into parts of western Bourbon County, but overall these are expected to continue to kind of fizzle out as the morning progresses. And then unfortunately, those of you that are getting some of this rain, while you definitely need it, it's going to make it a little muggier out there for the first half of our Friday. Now, as we go into the weekend, we do have that possibility of a stray strong storm or two in the green highlighted area for Saturday, and then again on Sunday along and south of I-44. It's an overall relatively low risk, but we could see a strong storm or two with some of the activity we're expecting this weekend. But this weekend's activity is going to be fairly scattered as well. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. We're looking good. Got some sunshine out there. And as we look at the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue, also looking pretty good as we start this Friday morning. And our camera, 7th and range line. There's that sunrise looking great this morning. A few clouds out there, otherwise not bad. 68, so a bit mild. Dew points at 61, humidity 78%. And just like over the last few days, they're going to be up there again, making it uncomfortable this afternoon. We've got 65s in Nevada, Fort Scott, and Pittsburgh. 74 is the warm spot in Chanute, 73 Neodesha, 66 Chitopa, 65 Miami, and 68 in Carthage. Now, as we get our morning started, we are for the most part going to be mostly clear to partly cloudy across the area. We're going to go into the mid-80s by about 11 a.m., so a little bit warmer than yesterday, because today is going to be on the hot side. As we head into the afternoon, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, a little bit variable through the day. There could be a stray pop-up shower or storm out there, but that chance is extraordinarily low. We're going to mainly be dry today and hot as we go back into the lower 90s. As we head into this evening, boy, it's going to be a toasty one this evening as well, as temperatures remain hot to very warm, even late into the evening, almost 80 by 10 o'clock. And then as we go overnight, we're going to be mild, low 70s, and then again we have that chance after midnight of some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there between roughly midnight and 7 a.m. tomorrow. So let's take a look down the road a little further, shall we? So we've got the morning thunderstorm chances Saturday. We could potentially see some additional storms later in the day. That's why that low end severe risk is there. We'll have to see how that plays out, because it's going to be scattered at best if we see anything. We'll be in the low 90s. We go into Sunday, it's going to be hot ahead of some potential thunderstorm activity later in the day. We're looking at pushing upper 90s, pretty close to 100. And then later in the evening, again, mainly along and south of I-44, could see some additional thunderstorms, and some of those could be strong, maybe low-grade severe across the area. Monday is probably one of the coolest days we're going to see for a while. As you know, summer officially kicked off on Wednesday this week. And boy, it is really going to be kicking off as we head into the next week as well. So Monday, one of the coolest days we're going to have. We're going to go low 90s Tuesday. Got some evening thunderstorm chances that could translate into some lingering morning thunderstorms as we head into Wednesday. And these chances are somewhat low, but at least they're there. And again, any rain we can get is better than no rain. But check out the temperature difference. We begin to climb pretty quickly, mid-upper 90s as we head into Thursday. Mostly clear skies. So Thursday, great day to get outside, but you're going to want to make sure you're staying hydrated, taking breaks, making sure you're taking precautions, because it's going to be pretty hot. Same on Friday, and then later in the day, maybe some pop-up evening thunderstorms, and we'll see those pop-up storm chances return again for us on Saturday. And then by Sunday, we're right about 90 under partly cloudy skies. That's a quick check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping the Health Watch this morning, there were more than 7,000 cases of e-cigarette exposure at poison control centers in the 12 months ending March 2023. That's nearly double the amount from 2018, according to analysis by the FDA. 87% of cases involved children under 5 years old, though most did not need medical treatment. New data from the CDC shows e-cigarette sales are up 47% since 2020. Well, young people with even a modest loss of kidney function are at higher risk of death, cardiac events, and kidney failure. Study published in the BMJ found a 20 to 30% drop in function should be addressed rather than waiting for a more significant decline, but the risks are still relatively small. Researchers are not recommending routine testing for everyone at this time. Well, taking a food as medicine approach helps children lower their body mass index. A study from Mass General Brigham looked at families who received weekly packages of healthy food provided by the hospital's food pantry. Children 2 to 12 years old saw their BMI reduced by more than 10% over a 13-month period. And the U.S. could have its first RSV vaccine for older Americans by this fall. On Wednesday, Advisory Committee for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention voted in favor of allowing adults 60 and older to get the RSV vaccine. The CDC still has to make a final decision. The agency is looking at 2 vaccines, which have already been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. During Wednesday's meeting, some committee members raised concerns about the price of the shots, as well as the lack of data for people over the age.
High in this Himalayan valley, in a makeshift clinic, dozens of people are lining.
Well, June is Cardiac Awareness Month, and the good news is it can be treated with surgery. Riley Carlson introduces us to a man who's giving thousands of people their sight back.
High in this Himalayan valley, in a makeshift clinic, dozens of people are lining up outside for their chance to see again. All of these patients have cataracts, a condition that causes the lens of the eye to slowly cloud over, blurring vision before leading to blindness. They're here for surgery to replace their cloudy lens with a clear artificial lens.
They need help, really. You can see how eye care is so difficult and how healthcare would be difficult, how education would be difficult.
Dr. Sanduk Ruit is running this clinic in South Asia. He's performed more than 130,000 operations. A tech multimillionaire is funding the surgeries as a way of giving back after spending time in jail for mail fraud.
I think it's a crime for some people like us not to do more.
In the U.S., the CDC estimates 20 million Americans older than 40 have cataract in one or both eyes. By age 65, more than 90% of people in the U.S. will develop cataracts. Dr. Ruit checks the results once his surgeries are done.
I'm very happy.
He says restoring people's sight never gets old.
It really energizes me and recharges my battery.
The pair has now set a lofty goal: 500,000 more surgeries in 5 years. Riley Carlson, CBS News, London.
Cataracts are more prevalent in Nepal than almost anywhere else on Earth. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we are watching these scattered showers across parts of southeast Kansas. They're trying to branch out a little bit, but they are starting to lose their intensity out there. If we look at them over the last couple of hours, you can see where they had some heavier rain. Goodness, I'm not able to speak clearly this morning. They had some better, heavier rain with them, and then as they're trying to branch out and expand a little bit, they're also starting to lose that heavier rain, and these should continue to die out over the next couple of hours. We're going to be hot. We're going to be partly cloudy today. We have additional storm chances, though, heading into the weekend. We'll take a look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Appliances and more. The right price on the right product right now.
Right now at 6:30, a passenger car slams into the side of a Jasper County deputy vehicle on Joplin's Rangeline Road.
And we've got ourselves a few showers in southeast Kansas, and we're really going to be heating up through today and into the weekend. We'll take a look at that forecast and some additional rain chances coming up.
And KOAM's Fernanda Silva takes us to Miami to introduce us to some area veterans who take to the skies and soar in a vintage biplane, all thanks to a volunteer organization as their way of saying thank you for your service.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:31. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got another mild start out there this morning, and we've got another mild overnight tonight. But we also have some scattered thunderstorms out there this morning. We have a few scattered showers and thunderstorms possible as we head out into the weekend. So let's take a look at what we've got right now on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. There are those scattered showers in parts of southeast Kansas. Now earlier they had a little heavier rain with them. They were slightly more organized, and as you can see over the last couple hours, they're starting to kind of fizzle out a bit out there, but they are still bringing some rainfall, and of course any rainfall is better than none. And these should continue to dissipate over the next hour or two, and that's going to leave us just partly cloudy and hot. Now as we go through today, again, there's that possibility of a stray pop-up shower or storm, but I think the majority of us are going to be dry. It's going to be overnight tonight into tomorrow that we're going to see better chances. Overnight, some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and then we head through the day tomorrow, see a few more scattered showers out there, and then we'll see some additional thunderstorms possible as we head into the afternoon hours on Saturday and into the evening, but you can see these are mainly east of I-49. And then later Saturday into the overnight, we could see additional showers and thunderstorms develop, and some of those could be strong, possibly low-grade severe as we head into Sunday. So that's why there is this low-end risk for Saturday, where we saw some of those better thunderstorm chances in the afternoon. And then we have that low-end risk along and south of I-44 for some strong, possibly low-grade severe thunderstorms. Let's take a quick look down the road. Today, low 90s, partly cloudy, hot out there. Thunderstorm chances tomorrow, low 90s, near 100 on Sunday with some evening thunderstorms as we showed you. We're going to be cool Monday compared to what we're expected to see the rest of the week. Temperatures warming once again into the upper 90s and some scattered thunderstorms possible Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. We'll take another full look at your forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A passenger vehicle T-bones a Jasper County deputy vehicle on Joplin's Range Line. The incident occurred last night around 9:35 at Zora and Range Line. Preliminary information shows the deputy had emergency lights engaged traveling west on Zora when a southbound passenger vehicle struck it. Authorities say it was a non-injury crash. Veterans in Miami get the chance of flying back in time. The event was organized by Dream Flights, a donation volunteer-driven organization with the mission of giving back to those who have served. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
Gary Harrison has not flown a biplane similar to this one since he left the military. But even though the airplanes might look similar, the feeling of being on board is different.
The area over there where you were in, you knew you could be losing your life at any time. And here, you're here for enjoyment and entertainment, and it's just marvelous.
Veteran Curtis Naida shares the feeling.
Flying in one of these planes is, you're not worrying about, are we going to get shot down? Are we, you're up there just free. You're not worrying about the what is.
This is the fourth time Dream Flights are here in Miami, offering veterans the chance of flying again. Dream Flights was founded by Daryl Fisher. Son of a veteran, his goal was to give back to those who served.
I fundamentally believe that people should hang on to their dreams. They're not thinking about biplane flights, but when you give them that flight, it kind of opens up their world and says, I can still do things, I'm relevant.
Oh, you just feel like you're in the sky, just like a bird. I mean, it's just wonderful. I'd jump right back in there again right now if they'd let me.
Reporting in Miami, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Dream Flights have taken off in 49 states. Next month, they will take off for their 6,000th flight. Well, the Joplin Rotary Club gives back to the community. On Thursday, they gave nearly $20,000 to 8 local nonprofits. Proceeds came from their annual charity golf scramble. Proceeds went to organizations such as the Ronald McDonald House, Habitat for Humanity, and the Salvation Army.
That's based on just the committee's decision how much to fund each. And sometimes it depends on what they ask for. If we can fund their whole request, we'll do that. But sometimes it's a partial amount in order to spread our funds as far as possible.
The Joplin Rotary Club has been serving Joplin and the area since 1916. Well, visitors to Joplin's Mercy Park can check out some new sculptures. 8 new sculptures were added to the Rotary Sculpture Garden. It's part of a collaboration between Joplin's 2 Rotary clubs. The sculptures were all donated to the park. 2 of the sculptures feature traditional Native American dances.
It's called the Wedding Dance. It's a brave and his soon-to-be partner, and the other one is a brave doing a special dance. We think those are really important for this is a part of the country where where the Indians were.
There are now a total of 27 statues in the Rotary Garden at Mercy Park. Some Joplin residents had a chance to preserve some memories and some tasty food. The Joplin Empire Market organizers give the community a chance to grow their green thumbs or learn new skills. On Thursday, folks got the chance to hone their canning skills. The beginners class helped participants stockpile knowledge to get started canning at home.
Using out-of-date or unreliable recipes. In canning, they are not framework recipes, so they're more of a scientific equation to make sure that the pH is right for them. So people are using inappropriate recipes is one big mistake.
Classes run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Thursday. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. What better way to kick off summer than with a visit from KOAM's very own Shannon Becker and his big 3 news stories of the week. We've got him live right after the break.
Plus, we've got ourselves a hot day across the area, maybe a couple of pop-up showers. We'll take another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Proud to announce the arrival.
Welcome back. We've got a special treat for you this Friday.
I'm a treat.
Shannon Becker. You are such a sweet treat.
Oh, like those circus peanuts? You're always like, ooh, what's that? Don't buy those.
Those are not sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't buy that. I'm a circus peanut.
How about cotton candy?
Well, there you go. Number 3 this week, Joplin News First Live, local big 3 stories of the week. Jersey Mike's Subs, they opened this week, 1702 South Range Line. If you think, oh, there's not enough parking in the front, they have a huge parking lot in the back. I want to be sure everybody knows that. They opened, it was a pretty big crowd that first day. Here's an amazing thing. They're donating the first 5 days of receipts at the cash register to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Jasper and Newton County. The first day alone, almost $9,000.
That's awesome.
So they're doing it for 5 days, so do the math.
Well, we read this story the other day that you reported on, of course, and I totally Ron Burgundy'd it the first time I read it because the script said Jersey Mike Cubs.
Oh,
and that's what I read.
Yeah, that's a problem.
No,
it's Jersey Mike Subs.
We're not eating animals.
No.
No,
well,
there's subs.
We might, but we won't talk about it.
No
How about
live
that?
animals anyway.
So check it out. It's the first 5 days. It's still going to be Friday and Saturday, today and tomorrow. All the receipts go to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Welcome, Jersey Mike's. Number 2, Joplin News First Live and Local. What's happening where you live? It was River Road near the Reddings Mill Bridge the other night. A tragedy. So this vehicle traveling on River Road went off the road, overturning into a very large mailbox, destroyed that mailbox, and the female passenger died there at the scene. Driver was then arrested for DWI, and then he was released to be transported to a hospital for medical care, but a story we'll continue to follow up on it. Definitely a tragedy right there by the Reddings Mill Bridge. Everybody knows that little hiking area there. Our number 1 story, Burlington. As you know, Burlington Coat Factory is what I call it, but it's now Burlington Stores.
Because it's not just coats.
Yeah, exactly. Burlington is coming to Joplin. This is a big story that we broke on Monday. Tipsters told us, hey, they're putting up signs. And sure enough, we got online, and you can even apply to be a manager. You can be a merchandising manager, a sales manager. You can. They're looking for people to operate the store. Of course, they'll educate you on everything Burlington. They've been around for a long time. It's kind of neat to see retail coming in and filling up that huge spot that Bed Bath & Beyond left.
That's what I was going to say. That was the Bed Bath & Beyond spot it's moving into.
It's great. And then our bonus story of the week. I love the red onion, don't you? Everybody else does. Well, this week a post was circulating on the internet around here locally that Red Onion was closing. Well, talked yesterday to Dave, the owner of Red Onion. No, that's not in Joplin. It's a Red Onion in Illinois. In fact, Equality, Illinois. They're going out of business. But it's okay, everyone. Settle your jets. The Red Onion Joplin, they've been here over 25 years and will continue to be here. He said most of his staff has been there for more than 20 years. So
you'll still be able to get that tasty vinaigrette dressing.
They're fantastic. Love them there.
Yum, yum, yum.
So put that on your calendar. Go to the Red Onion as soon as you can and tell them we're glad you're here.
Jersey Mike's Subs.
Yeah, but there's all the food. It's your big 3 stories of the week. KOAM News Now, Joplin News First.
Think you could stick around and join us again on our Fox show?
Only for the Fox show, yes.
We'll do it. We'll be right back.
At Roper Honda.
All right, time for some Friday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we are going to begin in Erie with Brex Welch, celebrating birthday number 3. Happy birthday, Brex.
And we've got Sophie Biggerstaff celebrating birthday number 9 this year. Sophie is in Columbus.
And Trevor Daniels celebrating number 15 in Mound Valley, and he's a freshman this fall at Labette County High School. Happy birthday, Trevor.
That is not him sticking his tongue out. That's his dog. Connor Burge is celebrating birthday number 17. Connor is in Seneca.
And Grant O'Doherty celebrating number 18 in Pittsburgh and will be a senior this fall at Pittsburgh High School. Happy birthday, Grant.
Carson Cobb is also turning 18 and is in Columbus. Happy birthday, Carson.
And Skylar Schupbach celebrating number 25 in Pittsburgh. And Skylar is a first lieutenant in the U.S. Army. Sir, we thank you for your service and wish you a very happy birthday.
All right, Hillary Evans turning 38 years old this year. Looking great there, Hillary. Picture there with her kids, Callie, Wiley, and Jace.
And we've got Karen Martin in Columbus celebrating number 58 today with birthday love coming from your husband, Steve.
All right, Laura Phillips turning the big 6-0 this year and looking great there, Laura, in Fort Scott. Birthday love coming from Danielle, Ashley, Tori, Haley, and all the grandkids.
And over in Arma, Natalie Douglas celebrating number 65. Natalie doing a very important service working at Names and Numbers. Happy birthday, Natalie.
Happy birthday, Natalie. Carol Phelps is 81 this year, our neighbor in Crestline. Happy birthday from the Crestline girls.
And Kenneth Lawler celebrating number 90 in Pittsburgh. A very happy birthday to you, Kenneth.
And we head down to Welch, Oklahoma to celebrate Robert Rapp's 91st birthday. We thank you for your service. A U.S. Marine veteran married to his lovely wife for 45 years. Congratulations.
And speaking of anniversaries, we've got Justin and Macias Schultz celebrating their 22nd anniversary. Our neighbors in Crestline. Happy anniversary to the Schultzes.
That's awesome. And all the kids and grandkids are wishing the Burges a happy 50th anniversary this weekend. Congrats going out to Ed and Carol Burge and Neo Show.
And then our very own Kyra Izagiri celebrating a birthday today. Kyra is a news assistant, helps us get our newscasts and video and everything else on air, so we want to wish her a very happy birthday.
All right, and our list goes on. Shirley Grant in Columbus, happy birthday to you.
And Janice Kellerman in Iola celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Janice.
And Louise Ferraro in Columbus, happy birthday.
Also in Columbus, Louise Hart celebrating number 78. Happy birthday.
And the last one on our list for today, but certainly not the least, Corey Bailey turning the big 5-0 in Girard.
This was a fantastic list, but we know it's because it's Friday and we got a bunch of things coming up this weekend. We want to see every list this long. Tanya, how can they help us do that?
All they have to do is send us their birthday and anniversary information, and please include the picture. We love sharing those with you to this email address, birthdays@koamnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're on our website, make sure you take time to sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. It's easy to do. You get special deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So head over to KOAMnewsnow.com and make sure that you sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. These showers across southeast Kansas still out there, but as you can see, they've really started to die out from what they were earlier, but they are doing a little more of that east-southeasterly movement. So some of us getting some much-needed rain, but these will be out of here. They should be out of here in the next couple of hours, and that's going to leave us hot and dry. Now, as we head into the afternoon, some pop-up showers, maybe a stray thunderstorm possible. That chance is relatively low, but you might get under a stray shower, too. The other thing where it's guaranteed today is we're going to be partly cloudy and hot. And then as we head into our Saturday, a few stray showers, maybe a thunderstorm overnight, and then we'll see some additional possible thunderstorms as we go throughout the day on Saturday. And you can see some better thunderstorm chances to the east, and that's why we do have a low-end risk for some strong, maybe low-grade severe thunderstorms. Take a look at that in just a moment. Here we are Saturday at 5, and then as we go later into the night Saturday, additional showers and thunderstorms developing, and these will surge to the south and east right along along the I-44 corridor as we head into the overnight on Sunday. So today, again, isolated thunderstorms possible. It's a very low chance out there. We got that low end risk for some stronger storms tomorrow, and then some of those stronger storms right along and south of I-44 as we head into our Sunday. All right, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line. We've got sunshine. We're looking good. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and East 520th Avenue out there. And our camera, 7th and Range Line, looks pretty good. We've got a few clouds, otherwise mild, 68. Dew point humidity up there. Again, they're going to make it uncomfortable as we head into the afternoon today. We got 62 in Fort Scott is one of the cool spots. 74 in Chanute. They're the reigning champs this morning as the warm spot in the area. 68 Chitopa, 67 Miami, 66 Pittsburgh, and 68 in Carthage. And as we get our morning started, we'll have those partly cloudy to mostly clear skies. We're going to warm up quickly and make it into the mid-80s by late morning, and that's a sign as to just how warm it's going to be today, and it's going to be even hotter as we head into the weekend. We'll have another look at your full forecast and the news you need to know before you head at the door coming up. But first, why don't we go up to New York City, find out what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you, I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, David Begnaud sits down with a man who wrote a book about the devastating Surfside condo collapse. 98 people died in that accident, including his grandmother. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
State Hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A passenger vehicle T-bones a Jasper County deputy's vehicle on Joplin Range Line. The incident occurred last night around 9:35 at Zora and Range Line. Preliminary information shows the deputy had emergency lights engaged and was traveling west on Zora when a southbound passenger vehicle struck it. Authorities say it was a non-injury crash. On Thursday, veterans in Miami flew back in time in a biplane. The event was organized by Dream Flights, a donation volunteer-driven organization with the mission of giving back to those who have served. This was the fourth time Dream Flights has come to Miami. Each flight lasted about 15 minutes and brought joy to the veterans. The Joplin Rotary Club gives back to the community. On Thursday, the organization gave nearly $20,000 to 8 local nonprofits. Proceeds came from the group's annual charity golf scramble. This is the 23rd year that the Rotary has hosted the scramble. Proceeds went to organizations like the Ronald McDonald House, Habitat for Humanity, and the Salvation Army. Well, Joplin Empire Market organizers give the community a chance to cultivate their green thumbs or learn new skills. On Thursday, folks got the chance to hone their canning skills. Beginners class helped participants stockpile knowledge to get started canning at home, including teaching the importance of timing. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And after a few scattered showers out there in southeast Kansas this morning, we're going to be partly to mostly cloudy, hot today, highs low 90s, maybe another stray pop-up storm or shower, but otherwise we're going to remain dry. We're pretty toasty as we head through the evening, mostly clear to partly cloudy. Overnight, could see a couple of thunderstorms out there and mild, low 70s. Got more thunderstorms throughout the day on Saturday. They'll be scattered, but they're there, low 90s. Hot on Sunday, upper 90s, evening storms, a little cooler Monday. Heat returns by the middle of next week with some additional storm chances Tuesday night into Wednesday morning.
Have you ever had a fluffernutter?
I don't even know what that is.
Well, it's also called a grilled PB&M, and we're making them today in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen at noon.
All right. I am very curious about this. And of course, your morning news continues here on KOAM with CBS Mornings. After more than 50 years, The Price is Right, I was just reading about this, is leaving the legendary Bob Barker studio.
Wow.
Jamie Wax takes a tour of the legendary studio at Television City and finds out where the show is headed next. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
I think it's because Drew Carey was wearing a red plaid suit the other day.
That might be it.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, KOAM's Anthony Saviello takes us to Joplin and Pittsburgh to show us how to use the app SeeClickFix and how not to use it.
All right, and we've got the perfect Friday story when we take you out to the West Coast to hit the waves and hang 10 with a seal. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it again today at noon.